For over 1,000 years, Western civilization has been stuck in a dark age of sexual repression and misinformation. We get an oversexed overload from the media, but nothing in the way of honest, helpful, practical information on sex and how to do it right. That sucks, and I'm fucking sick of it. My name's JV Altheras, and I've spent a couple decades learning everything I can about how to have amazing sex and more of it. Not in a classroom like a lot of people who talk about sex. I learned it all in the gutter, right where Mom told me I'd end up. It's my mission to bring an end to the sexual dark age with brutally honest talk and education on all aspects of sex and sexuality, in an atmosphere that will keep you entertained without treating you like an idiot. Shara and I are not doctors. Certifiable, perhaps, but not certified in any way. And that means we don't have to talk about vaginas and penises to maintain academic credibility. You got a problem with a vagina? Call a gynecologist. You want to learn more about pussies and cocks and how to make them happy? You've come to the right place. Ending the Sexual Dark Age is now sponsored by the internet's most trusted name in adult toys. A happy pussy likes to play more often. AdamandEve.com is offering you guys half off on your choice of thousands upon thousands of vibrators and dildos and cock rings and strap-ons, nipple clamps, porn DVDs, butt plugs, pocket pussies, anything else you can imagine to either get yourself off or have some fun with your playmate. As always, we highly recommend making sex toys part of your sex life, and right now, AdamandEve.com is only asking for one chance to impress you. They're offering an awesome deal in support of ending the sexual dark age, and the whole thing goes a little like this. By typing Dark Age, all one word, for the offer code at checkout, you will get 50% off the most expensive item in your cart, with a few exceptions, free shipping, 3 free porn DVDs, and a sexy free mystery gift. Free DVDs are selected randomly and added to your order before they ship. AdamandEve.com is willing to damn near pay you to get off. So stop by, enter DARKAGE at checkout, and proceed to collect on an awesome deal. Or just follow one of the links on sexualdarkage.com. And if you like surfing on your smartphone, be sure to check out Adam and Eve's new mobile site. Yes, you too can buy dildos right from your iPhone now, thanks to Adam and Eve.
What time is it?
What time is it? It's time for you to whip out your titties again.
Okay.
Alrighty then. I mean, it's also time to start recording the podcast, okay. But it has to be a silly question like that. What the fuck do you expect?
But I really want to know what the real time is. Ooh, look where I was screaming. Ooh, look at that. Ooh-wee.
So welcome to episode 44.
No, seriously, what time is it, though, before we start? The time.
It is 8:08.
Thank you. Okay.
I didn't think you were so desperate to have that on the air, but okay, we'll leave it.
I wasn't desperate to have it on the air. I don't want it on the air.
Well, it's too late now, isn't it?
No, you know how to edit.
I know how to, but will I?
I don't know. I think if I ask nicely, you will. Please, sir, would you erase that?
Maybe. We'll see.
You can leave the
we'll
please,
see how funny
sir.
It is when I listen back to it.
You know what? You could say, okay, sure, I took it off, but I left the please, sir, and all the begging on, so people will wonder what you were begging.
I could do a lot of things. I could wear a jockstrap, stuff with kielbasa, but I'm not doing that. I don't have an obligation to do everything I could do.
I didn't say you did.
In fact, I could go to the store right now and lock you up airtight with 3 kielbasas.
Let me think about that, because that doesn't sound like a bad idea to me. I'm not running, am I? In fact, I bet you we could get some volunteers out there in our audience that would say, I'll be the kielbasa, I'll be the kielbasa.
Well, we're not going to do a Shara sausage festival right at the moment.
We're see, now, I'll bet you if we voted on that, if we put it out to vote, I'd win. Even, like, the Nikkis out there in the world and the, Aarons and, Belindas, just saying, they'd vote for me. They'd take my side because they think it's important to have the sausage.
I think it's important too, baby.
Okay.
I'd have to examine sanitary issues with sticking kielbasa in your ass, though.
Well, I'm just saying the word
kielbasa. I'd have to put a condom on, and then the photos wouldn't be nearly as good.
Well, it depends if we could find a woman to wear it as, with a dildo strap on. It might work then. Being more interesting. Okay, so now we're really going to start.
We started a few minutes ago. What are you talking about? I'm not editing that out. That's fucking gold.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No.
So, to the audience, welcome to episode 44. We're going to cover a few listener mail items on this show. We are quite backlogged on the listener mail, and we're going to try and knock out a few quick episodes on it, have a little bit of fun, and get to some questions people have been very patient on. We're going to start this episode with a question that actually came into us as kind of an urgent question fairly recently. And we think that talking about it on the show might help some other people.
I agree.
So, a couple who is just starting to swing and has been listening to the show for quite a while sent the following. I'm in a situation that I would really appreciate some advice on. My wife and I have decided to try swinging. We found a couple that we click with and have arranged to meet with them, but we told them we want to take it slow because we're unsure how we're going to feel about it. We set ground rules right away, like the fact that we will only play together so we can tell if one another is actually having fun or not. We told them we wanted to meet and maybe go as far as third base just to start things off, and if all goes well, then more later. Where the problem came in was when we were all chatting online and the other guy was getting a little out of hand with the comments about what he wanted to do to my wife when we met, and then started talking about me and him going for coffee while his wife and mine did their thing without us. I kind of blew up. I told him we needed to slow down and reminded them of what was said to begin with about us only playing together, and brought up how pushy the husband was. I listened to the show religiously, and I value your opinion on this matter. Was I right to blow up, or do you think I'm just uptight? Well, to start off, I don't think he's being uptight at all. I mean, they seem to be taking a very sensible approach to experimenting with opening up their relationship and playing with some other people. I don't know who this couple is, and I don't have anything bad to say about them because I've never met them, but it does seem that their swinger etiquette is in need of a tune-up.
I would agree, and especially after learning so much from our swinger friends, Life on the Swing Set, I would say that they would probably agree with your opinion on that. And the other thing is, when you and I played, when we've played with other couples, you never, ever left me alone with either one of them, because you really don't know what you're getting into when you're meeting these people. You met with him first.
Yeah, well, somebody you don't know very well, you got to be cautious.
Right. But you laid the ground rules, and I didn't really have anything to do with setting the ground rules. You did that with, the guy, and then, we met, but it was all prearranged how it was going to happen, how it was going to go down. And, oh, that look on his face, if you could only see it right now.
Well, I know which instance she's talking about, and part of the fun was that it was very prearranged, but she had no idea what had been arranged.
Correct. But it was fun, and I didn't mind it after. But what I'm saying is that I think that the two men arranging it and agreeing on it, and we were very fortunate for the first time that we did it with another couple to have the two of you agreeing on what was going to transpire and us kind of staying out of it. It was first of all, it was a nice surprise for me. Like you said, I had no idea, and it was great. I was nervous, but in the end, I really enjoyed myself. Well, it didn't take. I shouldn't say in the end, because
in both ends, if I recall correctly,
it was just great all the way around.
And there we go.
Yes, well, there was no avoiding that one. I'm sorry, folks. There was just no avoiding that blush. But
no, but it sounds like our listeners were doing everything right, mm-hmm. And as I told them in an email, this is the kind of situation you're dating again. And you are a couple dating other couples, but you're dating again. So there are going to be times when you have a good feeling about somebody and it just doesn't pan out, mm-hmm. or they're not running at the same speed that you are, or you meet them and something seems hanky, or, somebody's got a third arm coming out their back, or whatever. It's when it's sight unseen and you haven't actually met somebody in person yet, you really don't know what you're getting.
I agree.
So that's why, it's always good to do meetings in neutral locations, bars, restaurants, someplace you can hang out, and everybody's got their own transportation.
Right. And I'm not sure if they have had a chance to check out Life on the Swing Set, because that might also be a good source for them.
I believe they do also listen.
Okay, yes. Great. So, because I do trust all of them that, on the podcast, because they just really fit together well and have a lot to say and a lot to offer.
Yeah. And in this case, our listeners laid ground rules, and the first thing this couple did was try to break the ground rules. And that's just, like I said at the beginning, it's poor etiquette, and it's not likely to get better as time goes on.
and it actually sounded like the other person actually broke the ground rules twice. I mean, and it could have been within the same sentence, but it was like, okay, what he was going to do with my wife, and then mentioning the two of the women being left alone. when they both made it clear that they would be together the whole time to make sure that they're enjoying it.
Well, exactly. You have to, it's basic etiquette.
And I think when somebody's going to go that far to try to push their own agenda and not respect yours, then I can't say that I blame them for blowing up, but I certainly definitely would say, yep, I'll walk away from this.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't have sat quiet. Somebody blatantly thinking they're going to rewrite my fucking rules. They haven't even met me yet.
Nope, wouldn't want to mess with that one with you. Just saying.
All right, so next we have something that's a little bit of a lighter topic. This one came in a little while back from a lady named Lee who listens to the show. And I don't think Shara has seen this one yet, so we're going to...
Surprise me.
Yeah, I think we're going to surprise you here, but I think this is going to be fun to talk about. So she writes, my partner and I have had sex numerous times, and they've been great. The issue is that I can't seem to orgasm. He does everything right to me, and it feels amazing, but it's like I'll get right to the edge and then just stop. I sometimes get off, but don't really. Sometimes it feels amazing, and I feel like I'm about to explode, but then I feel like I'm about to pee, and I tell him to stop. I've heard this is just a sign of being about to orgasm. Then I run to the bathroom, and it's like a waterfall. Is there something wrong with me, or what? I really need help figuring out what's going wrong or telling him what he needs to do. So, that's her letter, and this is my gut reaction to this. I am wondering if she would be a squirter if she let it fly.
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
How would you describe the feeling that you get? Like, what does your body feel like before you squirt?
I'd have to say it feels like an orgasm is about there, and then the next thing I know, I go right straight to squirting, but the first time I remember I was laying on my bed and I was basically having phone sex. And then so I was engaged in somewhat of a conversation, and, he would have me fingering myself and doing different things. And then the next thing I knew, I had a towel underneath me, but I just started squirting like crazy. And then, obviously for some people, it feels like you've just gone to the bathroom because you're soaking wet.
So would that be, an accurate reaction to the way that felt?
Right.
Before you were used to it?
I'm thinking what she should do is next time have a towel or something that if you're on something that you want to protect, is to put some extra towel or something underneath you and let it go. Just let it happen. And I'm sure it's squirting that is what's going to happen.
I'll suggest just being one step more reserved than that. And the next time you get to that point, run to the bathroom and let it go into the toilet, but get some on your fingers and see if it smells like piss or not. Because piss has a very distinctive smell. We all know what it smells like. And it does not smell like girly jizz.
Correct. Good idea.
And then, if it is just squirting, well, then, my dear, you may be just figuring it out, but you have won the genetic lottery, because I have never known a woman who could ejaculate that didn't have really good orgasms. I have never known or spoken to one. So, it's just a matter of investing in towels.
And that's why I said for her to be in position to stay there, because I'm not sure what changes when I don't know enough about that to know what changes if when you go to the bathroom, if it will change things in your system and you end up actually going to the bathroom.
Well, I guess that's possible.
So you can get the same effect if you don't mind getting...
Okay, so you suggest just using extra towels and letting it fly, and you can always throw them in the wash.
Yeah, and still smell and say, okay. And it'll be easy to tell. You won't have to necessarily put your finger there because you'll be able to tell off the towel if it is. There is a big difference, but it's a lot of fun if that's what's happening to you. I hope that's what it is.
Yeah, so I would suggest just letting it fly as long as your man is up for it. And some women, this kind of leads into the next listener mail item. We have heard from women who feel very self-conscious about it. They're not sure if it's attractive. They're not sure how it makes the guy feel. So I want to get into that after reading something posted by Isis Black. She says, I don't see an episode addressing squirting. As a woman who is capable of and enjoys this, I would love to hear a man's perspective on it. Showers too, of course. So far, I have only been able to achieve it during masturbation, alone by myself, no one else within earshot or squirt shot, because I'm more than a little self-conscious about it. Thoughts?
Well, I remember that's how it was for me. I was alone, and, like I said, I was having phone sex.
You wondered if you broke something, didn't you?
I did, But what a feeling, and she's right. It's very exciting. And then it was with you that I actually squirted with with you for the first time. So you were the first man that I actually squirted with.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because I
can find out new shit about her even at this point. That's interesting.
Yep. So you were the first one, and it was hot for me. It was really hot. I loved it, and you seem to really enjoy it too. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I'll take a run at this from the man's perspective, which I think would be reflective of most guys who really enjoy sex.
And I'd like to know how it feels on the guy when the woman squirts.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll get to that too.
Okay.
So from a guy's perspective, it's like, first off, it's fucking awesome because it makes you feel there's this caveman moment where it makes you feel like you made this woman come so fucking hard she literally exploded on you. It's very primal. I fucking love the feeling. It's awesome. It's like pulling the slot machine and having the jackpot come out. And not necessarily every guy is going to love it as much as I do, but I think in general, guys who enjoy sex and are past the adolescent point of thinking things are icky or whatnot. There's all kinds of fluids that are involved in sex, and you're going to get some splashed on you. So you might as well take the good with the bad. But yeah, it's it kind of depends on what position we're in. But you prefer doggy. So when I've got you bent over something, fucking the hell out of you, and you start squirting, it's a very unique sensation. It's like having a detachable shower head.
Really?
And pointing at my balls. Yeah.
And is it hot?
I can feel it running down. Oh yeah, it's body temperature. It's a body fluid. Yeah. So it's warm and I can feel it flowing down my thighs onto the towel. And yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a weekend coming up here that, we go back to, let's have a squirting weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's fine with me.
I'm so glad that this listener mail came in.
Yeah, so in general, you're going to, probably the downside actually Ginger mentioned she doesn't like the term squirting just because of the way it literally sounds.
I agree with her.
So we can go with gushing as well.
Oh.
So the only real downside is if...
I'd like waterfall. I just get this picture.
How about Old Faithful?
No, I like waterfall.
I like Old Faithful.
I want to ask Ginger her opinion. I'm going to go for waterfall, and here's why. Because like this morning when I was walking out of the shop, the sun was, just coming up, and it was absolutely beautiful. In fact, I took a picture of it this morning, and it was absolutely beautiful. And what else would go good with that but a waterfall? It's going down your leg, like you said, just like a waterfall. It's coming on down.
You spend so much time thinking about sex. It's beautiful.
I love sex.
I was standing there on this beautiful spring morning, looking up at a rainbow, and it reminded me of girly jizz squirting out of my pussy.
Well, what else are you going to think of after 1 a.m. and the first day of spring? Really? What are you going to think of?
What else are you going to think of when you look at a rainbow? It's one of the reasons I love you, baby.
What better than to think, right now a waterfall would go really nice with this. I have to go and find JV.
Oh, that's beautiful. Sure could use some cock.
Well, that's a given.
Hey, I got 3 green lights in a row. Sure could use some cock.
We better get going.
But yeah, so it can be, if it happens all the time, it can be a little bit messy, but it's like anything else. You adapt to it, you prepare for it. I've advised people to get some dark colored towels for purposes like fucking while the woman's on her period. So get some dark red, get some black towels, designate them as your fucking towels, and just use them and wash them as required.
And then make that slave wash them.
And if you're like Shara, you better fold that bastard up 3 or 4 times. So there's probably if it's one towel, we use the big full body shower towels, and I'll fold that fucker up into a square so it's 8 layers thick, and that's usually good enough.
Okay, so what you're saying is when I talk about a waterfall, you're talking about Niagara Falls. Is that it?
I said Old Faithful. I'm sticking with Old Faithful.
Oh. Well, before I get any redder, I want to back up for a second then and urge the listeners to go to our wall, and I'd love to hear from the men because she's asking.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. But
So-
please feel free to comment,
Like,
men or women,
dislike, yeah.
on your experiences with squirting and what you think about it on the comments for this episode 44.
On your comments on waterfall, because Ginger doesn't like it when you say squirting.
Ginger doesn't like it when you say squirting.
You just said squirting.
Ginger has never registered an opinion on Old Faithful.
But you didn't say Old Faithful this time. So I'm going to go back to waterfall. But no, men and women, of course. But because she was specifically asking for the men's opinion. And on the previous call-in, when she said that she gets really close to an orgasm, I went through that too.
Okay.
Prior to meeting you, I just really never had the right man taking care of me. And now I'm not saying that that's the case, but for her, what I'm saying is...
she sounds reasonably young. She's trying to figure it out, she's...
Well, what I'm saying is that it doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong guy. It's just that for me, it was that situation. But I did, prior to a bunch in between you and one of my first ones, I had great sex with one of the first people, and I had great orgasms. And then we went our separate ways. And in between him and you, which was many years, really, I just never could orgasm. And I started to think it was me because I'd get so close. And part of me thinks that I felt like I had to hurry up because I was holding him up.
Get finished before he was.
Yeah. I mean,
we got a minute and 47 seconds.
Well, I felt like, if it takes too much time on my part where he's taking care of me and it's taking a long time, I felt guilty. So
that's the sexual dark age.
Yeah. And so I would hurry up and fake orgasms quite a bit because I just wanted to be able to move on. But when it came to you, I didn't have to fake it. And I give her kudos because she's not faking it. She's going with it. And I'd say relax, and as a couple, take the time and say, okay, this is going to be a while. And of course, you had that one that you said she would be getting close, and all of a sudden she would tilt.
Oh yeah, that was aggravating.
So, and I don't know if she's doing that because a lot of women don't know either, especially the younger ones don't understand that when you change your position, how it can affect your orgasm.
Yeah. So, and let me clarify that whole story by saying, ladies, if you are on a couch or similarly elevated location and a guy is going down on you and you are getting close to coming, do not arch your back. Because when you arch your back, you point your pussy into the couch, and then we can't get at your clit anymore. And after about 3 or 4 or 5 times, and your jaw fucking getting sore because you can't get this girl off because she keeps arching her fucking back, basically hiding her pussy on you, you get really frustrated and you never call her again.
Boy, I can hear the excitement in your voice, and I'm just picturing her. I bet you she just went right through your head. Didn't she? That picture of her
Dodged a bullet.
Oh, so
and you know her.
I do.
And you are familiar in the many ways in which I have dodged a bullet on that.
Yes. I won't call the name that you have for her, but yes. Oh, fun times.
All right, so next up, we have quite a few BDSM questions, and our next listener mail episode, which will be coming up very quickly because I put together several episodes and we just need to get together and record them.
And we have to quit having sex, and so that we could.
There's, there's more time for pussy than there is for podcasting.
Well, okay. Well, I'm saying maybe we should podcast first and sex after, because then
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because then you don't end up lying in a pile on my bed drooling on yourself.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was good work not blushing on that, too.
I'm trying.
That was hard, wasn't it?
Let's just kind of keep on going really fast because I can feel the cheeks getting rosy here.
Then I'd be inciting it intentionally, so I wouldn't even get
Let's go to the next one. So,
so we have quite a few kinky questions. This one is fairly light, and I think it'll be fairly quick. And then we're going to be focusing on that more in an episode coming up very soon. Kilgore writes, I'm a straight female and just got into my first kinky relationship. I really love being submissive, and I am stoked to finally have a partner that is interesting and fun in bed. The other day, he said that he wanted to punish me, but that I hadn't done anything to deserve it. I told him I didn't understand what he was asking for, and he recommended I watch some porn. I surfed kink.com for a bit, but I'm still pretty clueless. I plan on talking to him again and getting more specific place to research, but do you guys have any recommendations? I have a lot of recommendations.
And I tend to get in trouble all the time, so.
Well, no, I think it's a very, very common misconception that people just getting involved into kink have about pain play and humiliation play and punishment. And we have talked about it before. So first off, I'll say to Kilgore, if you have not yet, listen to episodes 17, 19, 38, and 40, and try to get your man to listen to them along with you. So basically, it sounds to me like what he's saying is he wants to engage in some punishment play. Some spankings, maybe some humiliation, whatever you guys work out might work for you. You'll probably try a lot of different things, and that's good. But when you go to look at kinky porn, and this is my pet peeve about kinky porn, and not that it could be any other way, it's just something that annoys me. A lot of times you get to see a scene playing out, and it is scripted, and it's scripted to a certain extent at least, and they are actors, and they're playing parts. So it sounds to me like what he wants is not for you to do something wrong so that he can punish you, which goes counter to the whole concept of punishment in BDSM. You're not supposed to enjoy it, and he wants to have some fun with you. It sounds like he wants some punishment role play, where you're a naughty little girl who needs a spanking to absolutely strip it down to the bare essentials.
Like putting on that schoolgirl outfit. And darn it all, if you didn't scratch your nails on the chalkboard or something.
Yeah, and you can turn it into a fun little game, and it can be, if you're obviously just getting started, and that can be that role play can be a fun little entry into kink, because it's something that's very easy to leave in the bedroom, and you can play the part of the slave without actually trying to turn yourself into what the people in the community would commonly refer to as a slave. It's a chance for some fun, no strings attached role play where you can do some kinky stuff, and you can find out if you like being spanked or tied up or slapped in the forehead with a cock till you got a big cock shaped welt on your forehead, like someone in the room here has had before. And, it's basically a license to explore. And some people do like to always include the role play element, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think he wants you to be a naughty girl who wants a spanking. Which,
I come right out and ask him, say, I did. I watched kink.com, and I'm not sure what you're looking for. So I'm enjoying this with you. So just be really open with me and tell me exactly what it is and how far maybe that you're looking to go.
Yeah, and the language you use can be helpful. It's important, and you need to have, it sounds like, a more open dialogue. Specifically, what activities does he want to get into? And it can be difficult for people to talk about that.
Especially you are very comfortable with who you are, and it's very clear what it is that what you expect and want in a relationship. And he might be treading more softly because he really likes her. And
well, yeah, and it sounds like he's exploring too. So he's probably he's not quite sure of himself. He's trying to, he's got interests and desires that it sounds like he's trying to work out with her. So it's the same thing in both directions.
I didn't know. Is she a new listener or?
She didn't say whether she's a new listener or not.
So that would be interesting to know what they, if they listen to this episode and let us know what they think. And
yeah. As with any listener mail item, we would always be thrilled to hear back from anyone whose question we talk about on the air. And the best place to do that is in the thread on sexualdarkage.com for the specific episode.
Because then other people can see it and add to it
as
well.
Yeah, absolutely. That way we can get some feedback, and we have some great members of the audience who have actually been posting more than I have, and it's another thing I'm slowly getting better about. Oh, and coming up fairly soon, I'm going to be posting as a separate little, rather brief episode, a tirade that I have been warming up to for quite a few weeks about the current state of women's rights and women's power to make choices for themselves in this country, and it's been brewing.
Yeah. Rush Limbaugh, I think, just brought it out in you.
Well, the Rush Limbaugh thing is what made me want to pick up the microphone again.
I know.
It really was.
I know. And honestly, as a female, I can't blame you. And, you know, it's a lot of people's misconception. I mean, well, you know, I know we're not going to get into this tonight, but just the fact that a lot of women take birth control pills for other reasons besides just safe, not necessarily safe sex, but
there are so many
pregnancy.
health positive reasons for birth control and conditions that are mitigated or corrected by it that I saw is a great quote. I saw in an interview the other day with a doctor. She said, at this point, what we know about birth control and women's health is that not getting pregnant is almost a side effect of all the other wonderful things this medication does.
Well, for instance, not that everybody wants to know this, but, you know, when I was younger, I had very, very heavy menstrual periods. Well, the birth control pill cuts that down, and I was in severe pain. I mean, like, I would lay in bed and couldn't get out of bed. And I know there's a lot more women out there that are like what I went through, but the birth control pill eased that pain. I never had it after that. After I went on.
It alleviates cramps. There's new science showing that it is. Well, I can't launch into the tirade on this episode. I don't want to tie it together, but yeah, there more to come on that because I'm pissed off and I have a microphone, so I'm going to do what I can do about it.
Okay, next.
That is pretty much it for this episode.
Okay, well then, I want to say that this coming Friday is your birthday.
Yes, it is. I'll be one entire year closer to death. I will be one day older than I will be on Thursday.
So I want to say a very happy birthday to you, and I think that we should have a very fun weekend.
I'm going to try to have a fun weekend. I think it has the potential to be fun.
Yes.
And we're going to record another episode.
Oh, that'll be real fun.
Yes.
Sex episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about kink on the show, and then I'll tie you up and fuck you.
That sounds good. You know what? What if you tied me up and during the show?
Oh, I could definitely. You know, we have had specific requests for that. So.
Oh, really?
For a little more bondage and. Oh, you know what? Well, before we close out the show, or we will close out the show tonight with spanks for the memories.
Okay. So, but happy birthday. And
Thank you very much.
We've been together like 10 years. It'll be right after your birthday.
Something like, yeah.
So you, I've seen a lot of your birthdays and you just, you know, you never age.
Oh, shit.
You don't. He doesn't. No matter what, no matter what he's going to try and pull, he doesn't. He's like awesome. So just happy birthday, and
well, thank you very much, baby.
Going to make sure that it's a great weekend.
Thank you for being so generous with your observations, because I have certainly seen myself age.
No, no, really, seriously, but happy birthday.
Thank you, baby.
And also, I know there's a lot of people out there that we haven't had a chance to really catch on their birthdays, but one of our
birthday
listeners,
catch-up, Shara has asked for a pass on her new duties as the birthday management girl for this episode. So I will join the audience. Well, I will ask the audience to join me in giving you a pass on that. But whatever might end up in your inbox over this, that's none of my concern.
Great. Now my inbox is going to overflow. Thank you very much. But I do want to say Brian's birthday is today that we happen to be recording, and he's been a long avid listener.
Yes, he and his wife have been long-time, very loyal listeners. Mm-hmm. They have done very much on their own to promote the end of the sexual dark age. So
yes,
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. And to anybody else that I missed, but they might not be on my list though. But happy birthday.
So is there anything what you would like to say to the audience about any of these topics, or anything in general involving pussy?
I always have something
or
to say.
Or cock.
I always have something to say about pussy or cock. But most of all, I just want to thank them all for listening and keeping us, at the top of the charts. It's
absolutely.
We're thankful that you listen to us, and we hope that we help people to end the sexual dark age. Especially
we are trying to brew up some fun stuff for this summer.
Yeah. So, and I'm thankful that you decided to start this show because of people like Rush Limbaugh out there who really do not understand.
Yeah, I started this show when I get pissed off about something. I mean, that was the genesis of this entire program.
True.
This entire project.
So that's it for me.
All right. Well, as always, everyone in the audience should feel free to join the conversation by posting anonymously anywhere on sexualdarkage.com, emailing jvaltheros@gmail.com or jvshara@gmail.com. or calling into the listener line at 313-483-8563. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, FetLife, etc. We always appreciate good ratings and reviews on iTunes. They really do help getting the show out to new listeners. And I believe, for this episode of Ending the Sexual Dark Age, that is just about it. So we're going to close out with some spanks for the memories. And until next time, this be me, JV Altheros, reminding you that sex is one of the greatest things in life, and there is always room for better.
Mm-hmm.
Whip 'em out, baby.
Whip 'em out?
Whip 'em out. You got to get up near the microphone. You know how this works. This is not the first time we've done spanks for the memories. Okay, I gotta adjust this a little bit, get myself a nice angle to work at. Okay, now right up down the microphone. Spanks for the memories.
Spank show.